more powerful radio to check over the air, but on a handheld, it sounds perfect.
Okay, well, maybe that was just someone trying to get their own settings dialed in. Happy to hear it. Good morning again. This is the Good Morning Net, and all licensed amateurs are invited to participate and check in when the proper category is called. Your net control this morning is Joan, Kilo Charlie 9, Kilo Mike Alpha. I'm in Sebastopol, 6 miles north of Sturgeon Bay, where the sun shines streaming through the windows, 39.8 degrees, a mere 2 miles an hour of wind, previously gusting to 26, about 4 o'clock this morning. We apparently are going to have a string of rain-free days, temperatures in the 40s or so, and 40-mile-an-hour gusting possible today. So batten down the hatches. It's going to be windy. But the reminder before I forget is that allegedly on Sunday we have a chance of viewing the northern lights. So mark your calendars. Call me if you can see them. Don't do that. Only my neighborhood. Okay, so let's pause for emergency traffic. Sorry. Hearing none, we will move along to short time. The question of the day is, with the prospect of 5 or 6 more working outside days available, do you have a list still, or have you got your house pretty well buttoned up for the outdoor chores? So let's check for short time, going to work or mobile. Please, and crosslink, come now. Very good. It'll be Kevin and then over to Luke, W9LON. Luke, you weren't here to hear many of us say thank you so much for publishing the picture of John K9IY. I did have a chance emailing him back and forth, and he does sound terrific and greeted all of us on the net via that relay. But thanks again. So over to you, Kevin. Good morning.
KMA, this is KA9ARZ. Very good morning to all with 2 weeks remaining before Thanksgiving is here quickly going by. So speaking of IY, if he was back on Washington Island right now, he could deal with some Washington Island gale force winds in the forecast. So the skies are clear. We'll have the wind aspect of the leaf dropping weather there, where we had a combination of both yesterday, rain coming down, and just about windy enough to go surfing on the lake if enough wave action, so to speak, there. So anyways, outdoor activities probably until the flurries start flying there. We're going to have like warm, possibly getting 50s or so. Some more police for the curbside, depending on the witness. Like last year, took advantage of a natural leaf blowing effect where it had strong wind coming out of the west, help push a bunch of leaves in the direction towards the curbside. Have to see if that happens. So hopefully not the reverse effect of leaves blowing back on things. See how that goes there. So process of heading out the door, send it over to W9LON from KA9ARZ. Good morning.
wasn't when you checked in. So I don't know, maybe you bumped a knob, but anyhow, we had good copy, but it was, most of us probably had to reach down and turn our volume way up. Okay, we've got 4 on Echolink, stand by, and then now we will pause for all the rest of the RF check-ins. Please come now.
Kilo Bravo 0 Papa, RF at the base station.
This is Kilo Alpha Niner, Whiskey Alpha Romeo.
KA9VXG. Alpha Bravo 9, November.
Kilo Delta 9 Golf, Delta Alpha. I don't know if anybody else is hearing it, but I'm definitely getting some basic cry with the majority of people, but not everybody.
Net control. Kilo Charlie 9, Lima November Zulu, KC9, LN Zulu, from a sunny but windy Kiwani. Good morning.
Yes, Josh, there are some people who are very crackly, and it does remind me the wind is probably our culprit on that. Kevin, I forgot to tell you, Jeff and I learned a new word, a condition, 2 days ago from our girlfriend, walleye chop. Who else has never heard of walleye chop as a description of the water? It apparently is less than gale force winds, but choppy, and walleye apparently love to eat in that condition, and so it's called walleye chop. Who knew? Not me. Okay, so the list as we now have it could be KB0P, and you were pretty scratchy, KA9WAR, KA9BXG, AB9NN, KD9GDA, KC9LNGC. What? LN Zulu? Is there anyone else? Stand by and we will send it to Echolink, and the order will be Kilo 9 Golf Uniform. Good morning, Michelle. You'll send it to Jack, KA9TQC, and then Jack over to G1 AEU, and then you send it, Alan, to Larry, KB9DIB. So good morning, Michelle, and then over to Jack.
Good morning, John. KC9KMA, this is Kevin. I see you in Appleton in here, where finally the sky is all clear this morning. But yesterday we had a huge storm in here with a lot of rain and a lot of thunder and everything. We were outside at the time, and we got quite wet, but eventually managed to return and so on. But it was a little bit frightening, actually. Anyway, this morning the temperature is 36, the barometric pressure 29.92, and the sky now is clear, and the pressure outside is 85% in here, so it looks like it's going to be a nice day. There's only a remaining amount of rain on the road now after this huge amount of thunder and everything yesterday. So it was some sort of a big thing happening yesterday, and we had some events to go through about the horses. That's the only question you ask. We don't have anything new, but it looks like everything is important to happen in the next few days in here. So that's as much of an answer I can give you. And I'll pass it on to K9TQC. Jack, good morning to you. This is K9GU.
Thanks, Michelle. K9TQC returning. And just to corroborate, we were in Appleton yesterday during that storm, and it was really something. Lightning strikes close. I mean, driving along the road, it looked like it was maybe only a few hundred yards away, with almost instantaneous thunder, and rain of biblical proportions leading to flash flooding locally. We were out and about, got caught in it, and were drenched also, so that was no fun. So I'm going to celebrate by grabbing an El Cheapo plane flight out of Madison on Monday to go down to Florida for 10 days. I've got some work to do in the house and found some tickets for $57 each way, so I'm going to trade the 40s in for the 80s. And I think partially that trip will be facilitated by the fact that most of the yard work is done. There's probably going to be a few more leaves, but not the incredibly thick blanket that we're used to, so mercifully that is done. And interestingly, listening to the signals on the repeater this morning, what I'm noticing is that the stronger signals going in, Joan, yours being one, Artie being one, BXG being one, Ellen Zulu being one, there's absolutely no problem with static. And the weaker signals, you could hear static. I wouldn't characterize it as fry from a weak, distant FM signal, but it almost sounds like the wind issue is on the receive antenna, and the receive antenna is more impacted with a weaker signal by that wind effect, is what it sounded like to me. That's just a guess. So, let's see, over to Alan. How are things in England this afternoon? G1, AEU, K9, TQC.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Jack. Well, it's a nice day. We've got a rain shower, but the sun is shining, but there is a tornado wind all the time here. They've had it since the spring, a wind there, and it makes it uncomfortable outside. Now, after the zone question of the day, there's lots of things I would like to do, but I haven't been able to do it. I want to get in my talent and talk by saying that. I want to run by saying, and I want to get out of my buggy, but I can't get my moment. So, I've seen a lovely, I've had a George Fox email, as you know, I get one every day, and we'll know sunset at Ladies Harbour, Moonlight Cove, I think it said. Anyway, well, we don't really get no sunset like you get there, because the moon and the sun come, there's too many hills there. There's a very hilly place. So now and again we get a sunset, but not often. Well, now I've got to do it in a minute. I see you're back in shift away, according to my screen. Anyway, take it away, darling. C180, KB 9080.
good morning, everyone. This is Larry, KD9DIP in Algonquin, Illinois. The only issue I hear is that there's an audio dropout every, I'll say 8 to 10 seconds for about a half a second. The audio just drops out. If I'm the only one who hears it, it's me. What do I got? I've got, I'm back at the HOA here, and I got to go hide my long wire antenna in the trees for the summer, for the winter. Little piece of end-fed black wire up in the trees, and the hard part is trying to snake the cable, the feed line back into the house through a window. That's all I've got here. KD9DIP, I'm going to send it to Artie, because by tradition, he's next. Artie, KD9DIP, clear over to WAR.
Yeah, but Paul snuck in ahead of him today, Larry. So KB0P.
Bravo Oscar Papa. Let's go to him, then me next. Go ahead, please.
Okay, let's see if I got it here. Hold on a minute. Okay, it sounds like I do. This is Paul. I'm running, I was on 5 watts, but now I'm up a little bit. I'm at home. I got full scale on the tower on the end, signal, so yeah, that noise might be hardware noise. Loose hardware noise, possibly. Anyway, this is Paul, Kilo Bravo Zero Papa. I live in Green Bay on the east side, over by 43. And I'm off today. I took a floating holiday today, and tomorrow's a holiday, so I'm going to have a long weekend. So I also checked into a net up in the UP of Michigan on 3906, so I'm waiting for my turn on there as well. So just want to say good morning to everybody, and I don't have much to add. Let's see, Joan, you'd appreciate this. I bought a huge sack. I remember this now. You'd appreciate this. I bought a huge sack of apples from a gas station, Deer Apples. I've always wanted to do that. And I was driving through Cecil, Wisconsin, on my way to O'Connell Falls to work on an ultrasound machine. And I stopped at a gas station and I bought a huge bag, maybe 70-pound bag or something, huge sack of apples. And we've been cutting up apples and dehydrating them and putting them in mason jars, quart mason jars, and then vacuum packing. So I got another batch upstairs waiting for me to pack away, and they are delicious. Been sprinkling them with cinnamon and then dehydrating them. This last batch I did, I sprinkled them with a little bit of sugar in it, so we'll see how those turn out. And they're going rotten really fast, so I got the rest of the bag out in the garage, and I'll probably end up throwing most of them away. They're starting to get soft. So, anyway, thought you'd enjoy that. All right, that's it. I don't know who to turn it over to, so take it, whoever's next. This is KB0.
Kilo Bravo Oscar Zero Papa. This is Kilo Alpha Niner Whiskey Alpha Romeo. And my name is Artie, Alpha Romeo Delta Echo. Here in Mexico, we have 39 degrees. And Joe, to answer your question, this morning my son from Appleton is coming up, and we're going to probably take care of whatever is left to do outside. So we'll take care of that this morning. The answer worked out pretty good with your question. Other than that, I think a week ago Jeff mentioned that we have cards in the bureau. If Jeff would get the cards, one suggestion is to send them to the recipients via email. I get a couple cards, QSL cards via email every week, and that's the way to go. There's no cost, and you can use the card that they probably should have used in the first place to generate their
reception to our event. But that's just a suggestion. K8IBXG, this is K8IWAR. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, all. I noticed some noise before the net even started. So I don't know what that's going on, but that's all right. I can hear everybody just fine, so that's good. Didn't do a whole lot yesterday. It was just kind of a gloomy day out. Didn't feel like doing much. Was way too wet and windy, and just ugly to go split wood, cut and split wood. I just worked in the shop on the threshing machine. Got a call, and some of the sheet steel that I need is all cut. A little bit more than I expected, but that's all right. It's only money. So got a doctor's appointment today, and Green Bay Mike and Tea Club meeting tonight at St. Norbert College. So I'll be going to that. I am on the board, so I guess I'm vice president, so I guess I should be there, and then soon to end. And Paul is president, but he's deciding to bow out because he's got too much work going on. So that's all I got to say. So I'll send it to AB9NNK9DXG.
Okay, good morning to everybody on the Good Morning Net from John, AB9NN, Beulah, Northwest Florida, Michigan, straight across the pond from Algoma, 9 miles inland. And yeah, certainly windy today. Can attest to that. We've got wind gusts upwards of 40 miles an hour, and looks like 44.5 degrees currently with a west wind at 15 miles an hour for the steady speed. Solar flux index is at 146, and nice to see that there's nothing on the lightning map. We did get some lightning yesterday when some storms moved through, and they kind of surprised me. They jumped up on me real quick and went down to disconnect my antennas, but they had already moved past. So I guess everything is okay from that perspective. Hearing a little crackling on some of the signals, but not all of them, like everybody had said. Hope my signal is okay. Let's see. Oh, getting my COVID shot today. Got the flu shot and the RSV shot about a week ago, and going into the COVID shot today. So hopefully we don't get any severe side effects from that. People have been getting COVID in our church, which is problematical, but so far I haven't been exposed from what I can tell, so that's good. Let's see, with that, back to, or let me say, it's over to AG9T, so maybe 9, and then good morning, everyone.
get the USD that are
me a phone call. Over to you, Tom.
Hi, LS Lulu here. We're reporting to all sunny and rather windy here in Kewanee. Hopefully if the wind is east to west, west to east, I'm going to see a lot of the leaves blow up against the trees. It's about 39 degrees here right now, and sunny and sunshine. Other than that, let's see, yesterday they go to Best Buy, got a replacement for the Goodmorning device, and it's up and running. I just got to wait a couple days for the regular phone number to be transferred in. Hopefully that will work. And then yesterday afternoon when it was raining at RTL, all of a sudden I started to hear sounds like something was coming through the roof, and on the deck I saw not only was the rain out there, but we had ice pellets here in Kewanee coming down. It was only about 5 or 7 minutes, but it was loud. And today hopefully everything stays nice and sunny, hopefully what we can get done. Other than that, hey everybody, take care, have a good day, and I'll try to stop coming here. 89, I'll listen back to the control. Good morning to all.
Tom, let's go back to see if Josh is free. 89 and 88. No dice. So we're up here. We just had another really misty, a little bit of rain. Almost a situation of 0.14. Nothing like Appleton to show. Really bad.
Seinfeld, the soup Nazi, no soup for you. So I apologize. It seems like the doctor call every storms yesterday in Green Bay were just phenomenal. I was coming off the highway, probably 12:45, and the lightning and the thunder was awesome. And I looked over in the ditch there, and it was just full of water. So it was pouring there before I got there. It sounded like it was dark again. Over to Jones, 89 GMA, 89 GBA. Oh, yeah, and I haven't even started cleaning up the yet. Maybe the one goes to the gate is not how we clean up. 89 GMA, 89 GBA.
Josh, I say we have 15 or 20% of leaves still on trees, and Jeff thinks they're going to be up till after the first snow. I mean, a lot of leaves still on our trees. But here's a service story. So our air exchanger was acting up, and I asked for a service call, and I explained the situation, which is complex, and said, do not send me your new guy. I need someone with some experience and some knowledge. Well, Bruce, can you even imagine, let alone the next day, they call and say, hey, I'm in your area, I've got an opening, can I come now? Yeah, you can come now. So the kid shows up, knows everything. He has the manual in his brain. He knows about, I can't say the PSI, the intake, the outflow, the settings, the workaround, turn this screw, have a tick and it'll lower the fan noise. There's all kinds of adjustments a skilled technician can make that makes it to your liking, and what a pleasure. And so I told him, keep us on your list when you start your own business and leave the big company that everybody uses, because this will be a thing. So with those service guys, it is appalling to me that they have cell phones and can't call you and say, I'm starting the job before you. It'll be at least this much time. I know with HVAC, it's the tune-up, that's a fixed time. But if you get a problem like ours, it could be 10 minutes, it could be an hour, and so that's why they get delayed. And we all get that, so just keep them in the loop so you're not sitting in the house, etc. That's all. That's all. We'll come back and talk about Nick Cage and how I remember these things in seconds. But let's pause for all of the other comments, anyone, anywhere, or check-ins, whatever you want to do.
K9TQC.
Made a comment to your comment, Jeff did, Jack, that the send and receive antennas are now the same on the receiver, so that is a mystery. Over to you, Jack.
That is exactly correct. They are the same, and I'm thinking that in the old days, with a separate receive antenna, that was more prone to wind-induced hardware static, and now that we're using the same antenna to transmit and receive, we're actually on a different receive antenna, and that may have made some level of improvement, is what I'm thinking. And Bruce, in answer to your question, as it turns out, I have an appointment to bring the 911 down to Appleton for much-needed and overdue service, including a brake line flush. And as a result, Carol found tickets out of Madison that were much cheaper than a Legion out of Appleton, to the tune of $200 from Appleton, but $57 from Madison, and the airline is Sun Country. And I think they may fly out of Green Bay as well. I'm not positive, but for this time of year, for short notice, because I've got to go down and do some hardware repairs. So this is what we just made the reservation 2 days ago, and to get it for $57 in November, and I'm flying back on Thanksgiving Day. to Madison where we'll have dinner with our daughter. So it all folded together beautifully, and then the Porsche dealership was willing to sit on the car for 2 weeks, so they'll keep it for that amount of time. So it all fell into place beautifully. Back to you, Joe, KA9TQC.
Thanks, Jack. And, we sent away for Jeff's passport renewal hoping it would come in 6 months, but we think it was probably 6 weeks. So the bad news is we both have current passports, and those last-minute deals in a season like this can sometimes be worth looking at, and heaven help me if I get an hour inside with the computer. I've never, ever done a spur-of-the-moment, short stay, fly over to Europe, stay 4 days instead of 10 or 14. And I wonder if there is some merit to think about that, but I'm not sure I'm getting buy-in from my traveling companions. Oh well. Any last comments? KC9KMA looking for anyone, anywhere, or check-in.
KC9NN with the last comment.
Go ahead, John.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I was just thinking, it occurred to me as we were listening to the conversation about contractors and whatnot, specifying a time that they'd show up and then not showing up. We had a contractor to do some landscaping, moving some dirt around, essentially, for a three-season room along in and among the plantings and along the edges of the deck and that sort of thing. And they told the general contractor, Max, our general contractor, we'll be there sometime next week, and which meant sometime this week. And we're sitting here yesterday just watching TV in the middle of the afternoon, and 2 trucks pull up, and they just went to it. And it was the middle of the week, had no idea that they were coming, had no chance to prepare and move things out of their way and that sort of thing. So that was a little off-putting, but it was nice to see that they did get to it and got it done nonetheless. So anyway, that was one of our frustrations with when are you coming type of a thing. Back to net control from 89 and then John and Beulah.
I think there are so many variables now with the workforce shortage in these kinds of skilled labor, and we've heard that just getting dirt delivered up here is dicey in terms of scheduling because they don't have enough drivers. Blah, blah, blah. This is still going on. It's kind of a shame. The answer to Bruce's question, so it's occupational, of course. When I was working, I did not take notes and keep a record, so it was all in my head. Yeah, I know it was a requirement, but there were several of us in private practice who did not. And so for years and years, I would have the whole story in my head. Family names, pet names, schools, all of that stuff is locked. And someone would go away for a couple of years, come back for a tune-up, and I would have it. And they're like, how do you do that? And I don't know. Because I assure you that when I'm watching a movie, a show, I don't know the character names. I can't keep them straight. So it's a function of the specific memory and the way it's stored. I think it's fascinating because it is very variable. I'll stand by to see if you've got a neurochemistry reason for this. It's too bad Luke is on short time. It's situational, very interesting. But, it's like a random fact for, say, Nick Cage. It's just associated, and I know that. So, what can I say? Over to Bruce. Failed on his crossband. Okay, that's it for us. KC9KMA bringing the net to a conclusion and opening the repeater to normal amateur use. Have fun with those leads. There is enough wind out there that if you lift them up, they're going to blow.